I am me. I am me. No, I'm me. No, that's my piece of chicken. No, that's my piece of candy. No, that's mine. That's mine. You know why that's mine? Because it's mine. That's why it's mine. Because it's mine. Hi there, it's me again, Kevin Zellwell. Just want to let you know that in the description below, you can sign up to my newsletter where you can receive a video on how to unlock the key element to a happier life. And this is really good stuff. So go ahead, sign up. Along with that, you get weekly episodes, weekly newsletter talking about upcoming videos and events that are going to be happening, because I'm going to be setting up some events for people to come and attend, and workshops. So check that out in the link below. Sign up, be a part of the Observer's Eye crew. In this episode, we're going to talk about why the ego is not your enemy. Now, since my time of awakening, as you would call it, or a time in understanding who I am and going towards myself, that's what I call it, the journey. There's a lot of content and a lot of people out there that say, like, make the ego look like a bad thing. Now, we're not talking about ego like, that part of you that's like, just really boasty and like, all about me and blah, blah, blah. We're not just talking about that. Like, part of that is too much ego, which, there's a lesson in that somewhere for people who are like that. But I'm talking about the sense of ego where it's allowing you to be in this reality. What do I mean by that? The ego is like a frequency tuning device, if that makes sense. Now, for the people who might be watching this who don't fully understand it, you do on some level, so just listen carefully. So when you come into this life, you take on what's called an identity. You take on what's called individuality. You go into that frequency. So it's like if you're a big crystal and you've like crystallized into, let's say, a black tourmaline, you've taken on that frequency of black tourmaline to then, which is a crystal stone, and then take on those attributes as black tourmaline. So in this sense, you're crystallized, you're this beautiful soul from all connected to all things, and you've come into a human body, which then you become human, which then becomes individualized, which then becomes me, and which becomes you. And the ego governs under that. The ego is the biggest part of that, because that is what hones in on your individuality. So it's not a bad thing, because probably without it, you'd probably be one of those crazy people. Well, I shouldn't call them crazy. You'd be one of those people walking down the street who are, really just, kind of a bit schizophrenia, or talking to themselves, or like really displaced between this reality and the other, talking to things that normally we wouldn't see, but there's actually something there because they're talking to them. It's like, it's not really just in their head, it's just that their perception of time and space is not attuned to the same as our frequency and honed in our frequency like we are as normal people. So the ego gets the bad rap because of the imbalances between the physical body and the emotional body. The biggest thing that has the trouble with all of us is the emotional body, because a lot of us are growing up to think that emotions don't matter. It's not it's not the big thing. It's more about the mental. It's more about the physical. It's about how you look. It's about what you have materialistically, mentally. Like, it's about those things. It's about what you do. You know what I mean? It's like those are the things that define you. But like, when we grow up and we get depressed, and when we grow up feel sadness, we grow up feel angry, we grow up feel anxious, we grow up feeling helplessness, it's because of the imbalances of the emotional body that has occurred in childhood. And the ego, the mental body, which the ego is governed under the mental body, and the physical body all get like running around like crazy children, like, hey, want to do that. Nah, I want to do that. Nah, I'm gonna run down. I'm gonna run down the grocery haul and knock over everything. Like they're just, they're just out wild. They're just doing what they want to do, and that is why there's a lot of egotistic people. There's a lot of people out there who are just all about them and just, oh, I want the best car. Give me the best car in the lot. I don't care what it's called. I don't care about the name. Give me the most expensive thing. And it's probably a piece of shit, but it's like there's a big price tag on it. So, but in the, when the emotional body is healthy, the ego and the physical body are in equilibrium. And I say the physical body a lot because, the physical representation of a lot of these things is overeating or undereating, you know what I mean? Or thinking that you need, this makeup and all that makeup and stuff like that. It's like, when your emotional body is healthy, and I'm not talking about like, tip-top shape, like in a destination of where you want to go, because we're always changing and we're always experiencing new things. So we're going to always be feeling this or feeling that, feeling low or feeling high, because that's just how the energy works. It's like breathing in and breathing out. There's going to be times where it feels low and there's going to be times that it feels high. And through those highs and lows, it's the experiences that we generate and create and go through. So the ego isn't your enemy because it works under the trifecta of the whole thing. Now, when it comes to the ego as well, it's as if it's a standalone person. It's like this outside thing. And you have all these tools. Like this is the tool. I spoke to one of my clients and I was explaining to her that if you broke up these three, and it was a circle, and you divided those circles into three, which is the mental body, the physical body, and the emotional body. And you broke those apart, and you try to connect, you connect them, and you get the circle. And if there was energy running through that circle to power, let's say, the human body, for it to be working at its full potential, the circle has to be connected and connected securely. And that is what it's like when either the emotional body, the mental body, or the physical body are not connected. It's like your energy just gets zapped. It's like nothing's working. So it's like you gotta find that nice balance and everything, and you've gotta put things together. Also, if you look at that the ego isn't a bad thing, it won't flare up on you. It's kind of like pressing your finger on an open wound and it's just hurting you. It's like you don't do that because it's going to make you bleed more and put you through pain. I had a dream like a few years ago, and what my dream represented was like it's a part of me that was my ego, and I knew it was my ego because of what the dream was about. And it was that I was in this car and like there was like a lot of danger around me, and my cousin was driving, and he was like, had to stop, and he went and came in the back seat, and he had a gun in his side, and he's like, man, no, just let me get them. I'm gonna get them. I'm gonna kill them all. And I was just like, hold on, man, just like relax, hold on, it's okay. Like we're gonna deal with this together. It's all right. And I felt when I woke up, I automatically knew that he represented my ego. And I felt like when I spoke to my ego and I said to him, it's okay, we're gonna work through this together, it was us. It was my ego and me becoming friends. It was that part of me that decided, okay, we're going to work together to make this work. Like, it's not bad having the ego, because that ego is going to make you realize that you have a set it's going to make you realize your values. It's going to make you realize certain things that need to be done for your being to represent itself fully. So like, for example, when people talk about, what is that? Oh, I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Okay, when people talk about boundaries, right? They think that, okay, well, if a group of friends call and ask me out and I don't want to go out, that's setting a boundary of like saying, no, I'm not gonna go out, I want to stay in and this. But that's not boundaries. Like, that's just listening to and responding to who you are fully. Because if you feel you don't want to do a certain thing, you should respond to that by not doing that thing. Like, it's okay. It's having that respect of like, you know what, it's okay. And what is that boundary? In that sense, what is that boundary really doing? It's not setting up a boundary against someone on the outside, is it? It's setting a boundary between yourself and the outside world. It's like it's saying, okay, boundary, you're there. I'm not gonna let the outside world influence me to do the things that I want to do. When really it's like, you know what, you're cutting yourself off from the rest of the world thinking it's coming like this when it's the inside out. Like, I'm not saying that boundaries are a bad thing. I'm saying that how boundaries are used in their context is what causes some problems as well, because boundaries sometimes a lot put up walls. And I think that through the ego and through how we, develop through our society, we think that setting boundaries is a good thing. And that's the same as like, trying to put up protection as well. What's important is that we learn from all of these things that we grow up in. It's like setting boundaries is just really you seeing the value in yourself and really expressing how you feel when you want to. Like, if you want to go out and do something, you go out and do it out of respect of responding to who you are as a person. That is something much more powerful than setting up another wall. Like, that just like doesn't work. So think 3 times when you think about putting up boundaries, because that's like, it's going, okay, this, like, it's even a sense of values. Like, okay, well, I'm worth this. I'm gonna put a boundary and say, you know what, I'm worth this. This is how much I cost, and that's my boundary. And it's like, no, it's not a boundary. It's just you seeing the value in yourself, and you're determining what it is you want out of life in service to what you provide. And that's just basically it. It's like the doorway's still open. There's no boundary there. There's nothing that says to people, stop. You know what I mean? It's just that you value yourself. And once you value yourself, once you see yourself in that sense of strength, once you have the ego, the physical body and the emotional body all working together, then you would see that everything becomes harmonious. And once you're harmonious within yourself, then everything, your whole reality becomes harmonious. People come into your life. Certain things start to just come into your life. And then, especially now, like, they just come quick. So it's important that you look at the aspects of yourself, the ego, the heart, the body. Don't push either or of those things. It's like you have all these tools and you're pushing, oh, I don't need a screwdriver. But then you come across something where you need a screwdriver, you don't know where it is, or you can't find it. Like, keep all your tools to you, like all of them, because they're there for a reason and they're there to be used. If the tools weren't there, they wouldn't exist. If you didn't need a screwdriver, then you wouldn't have one. You know what I mean? Like, if we're talking about the tool set of life, if you don't need a certain tool, it won't exist. And then there's tools that show up and are just coming to you in life, and you're like, what is this thing? And then a few years down the line, a few hours down the line, a few minutes down the line, you realize this tool I need. So the ego is not a bad thing. Most of all, the emotions are not a bad thing. If you would like to have a session with me, one-to-one session, visit my website, theobserverseye.com/S services, and you can sign up with that. And I'm guaranteed when you come in with your confusion, the helplessness, the doubts and feelings, you're gonna come out with the reverse, because that's how I work. If you'd also like to sign up to how to unlock the key elements to a happier life, you can sign up in the subscription below. I'm looking forward to working with all kinds of people, because that's my intention. My ultimate goal in life is to have everyone be harmonious with all of their elements of life, and to create the world in the way they see fit. Because once we all do that, it's gonna be a beautiful world. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Be you, be love, and be groovy.